Not act All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. It is 8 o'clock. Happy Thursday. My name is Rhea Moore. I am a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and I'm very, very grateful to be here sharing with y'all. So thank you, everyone. I know it's a busy time. May is busy, and I know that we all have things to do. So I thank you all for hopping on, and I appreciate you. So we are going to talk about winning in 2021, WON. Okay, so you're going to hear from some amazing people, Dr. Adrienne Williams, the Sapphire Ambassador, and Summer Brown Godfrey, Emerald Ambassador. And then I'll share a little bit about my story too. So first, I am going to start screen sharing because I want to show y'all some things. Okay, so hopefully it will not act wackadoodle. Okay, so give me some thumbs up, please, if you see, do you deal with any of these symptoms? Do you see that screen? Yes. Oh, thank you, baby Jesus. Okay. All right. So I want y'all to take a look at this screen and listen. Put in the chat if you are on Plexus, if you've started Plexus, if you're on your Plexus journey and you've experienced any of these symptoms, go ahead and put in the chat symptoms that you used to experience and make sure you share that you no longer do. And also, if you are new to hearing about Plexus, someone invited you tonight, that means that they thought highly enough of you that they really want to share this and they want to share this goodness with you. So also put in the chat your name, who invited you, and which of these symptoms that you are dealing with also. I'll go first. I'll share. I'll be the icebreaker, right? So these are some symptoms. We'll get into what these mean, but these what this gut health thing means. But these are some symptoms, y'all, that come from gut health. That can be a result of having a bad gut health and having leaky gut, dysbiosis, and intestinal permeability. All of those words mean the same thing, and we'll get into what that means. But I'll go first. So some of the things that I was experiencing, y'all: increased belly fat, high carb and sugar and alcohol cravings. Like I could not get enough sugary, like anything, right? Candy, gummy stuff, bread. I wanted it all. Like carbs, I wanted it all. Also TMI, but that's what we do here, right? We're trying to help people out: bloating and gas. Yes, TMI. Some IBS symptoms I experienced, and y'all, my sinus issues. I had major sinus issues. I would come down with a sinus infection every couple of months. And I have not had a sinus infection since 2019, since I started Plexus in July of 2019, or started Plexus consistently at that point. And that's huge for me because I've always had really bad postnasal drip. Like every morning I wake up, my throat is hurting, my ears are, hurting, my throat's itching. So that's just some of the things that I experienced. Also, some brain fog, indecisiveness, ADD, high anxiety, all of these things, y'all. And they're all connected to gut health. And so I also want to share some other statistics. 85% of adults in the US wake up tired. And to be honest with y'all, I think that number's low. I'm like, really? You sure it's not more than that? 53% of US adults feel sluggish. I mean, how many people here, how many of y'all just feel sluggish throughout the day? And you're just waiting for nighttime. You're waiting to be able to go to sleep. And then when it's nighttime, you can't fall asleep, right? Guess what? It's connected to gut health. Also, y'all, 1/3 of US adults struggle with being overweight. So we're going to talk about talk about gut health that's connected to all of these things. And we're going to hear some testimonies. But what I want y'all to keep in mind when we hear these testimonies, I want y'all to look at this pool, this swimming pool. Remember this pool, okay? So everyone that you're going to hear from tonight, this is what their gut looked. This pool up top, this is what their gut looked like before Plexus. It was all jacked up. Nobody wants to get in that pool. It's hot outside. It's summertime now. Nobody wants to hop in this pool, y'all. This is how your gut looks. This is how your insides look before Plexus. Now, look at this pool at the bottom. This is after Plexus. And so you're going to hear from people, and this is what their gut looks like now. Everybody wants to be up in that pool, right? It's clear, crystal blue, fresh, refreshing. We all want to jump in there, right? And I know y'all are like, what is this woman talking about? But I'll get into what I mean with that, or what this means, this before and after means. And so we're going to hear from some testimonies. I'll let y'all know who y'all are listening to right now. This crazy lady who just loves Plexus. I cannot get enough of gut health. So I am actually a Pilates instructor. I'm a bar instructor. My master's is in public health. I'm finishing up my certification with the New York's Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And I was in community health and development. I left that career to be my daughter's caregiver. And that's when I really started getting more into what we were putting into our bodies and eating, nutrition being the best prevention, right? Eating for living, eating for our health. And I actually was in big pharma for about 10 years and realized that I was doing exactly the opposite of what I believed in, y'all. So I worked in the diabetes division of Eli Lilly for nearly 10 years. I was part of that Prozac Nation, right? And I was just jacking up my gut and everybody else's gut talking about that stuff. And nothing is wrong with that. Look, I was on Prozac for a long time. Nothing is wrong with it. But I left that career, went to community health and development, and I ran the wellness, wellness fairs, free health clinics, free health screenings. We got into the community. I loved and adored that. Left that to be my daughter's caregiver, and I'll share more about her story later because that's really what got me to this point. What Plexus did for her especially. So that's who you're talking to. I always like to start off by letting you know who you are listening to, right? So next, we are going to hear from, someone that I love and adore. But listen, y'all, before Dr. Williams starts talking, I want to share a little bit because my testimony ties into Dr. Williams' testimony also. She's a good friend of mine. I have known her for over 25 years. Adrian, I don't, like it's longer than that, right? We met freshman orientation at Xavier, y'all. She is my line sister. She is my ride or die. She is my day one. I love her to death. And, I'm sharing my testimony, saying that her story is part of my story because when I started Plexus, she reached out to me about some health issues and I was like, girl, you should try Plexus. And the rest is history. So her story is a huge part of my story and my success as a Diamond Ambassador. I'm super duper excited to have her here. And I am going to stop talking and mute myself. And Adrian, Dr. Williams, I will let you take over because I'll keep talking, child.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Rhea. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Like Rhea said, my name is Dr. Adrian Williams, and on this call tonight, I will share briefly about my health wins and a little bit more about my financial wins. And if I never believed or never thought that I would be sitting here talking to people about this type of thing, like ever, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a business person. I'm not a talker. I'm just more of an analytical person. But when you find something good, you want to share. And that's exactly what happened to me. So Rhea says I was her ride or die. I took the products, but I wasn't about to start telling people. So just so you know who I am, I was a stressed out, burned out wife, mother, everything, just wearing all the hats about 18 months ago, prior to starting Plexus 2 years ago and the years before. So I just wanted Plexus. I wanted to help something to help me sleep better and just to ease into my night. I would come home still wound up and bound up. And that was just all that stress and overwhelm just weighing on me. And it manifests itself physically. People don't realize that, but that takes a stress absolutely shows up in your bodies, and it can look like a lot of things: muscle pain, headaches. I was just starting to have a multitude of symptoms, and everything that I had been experiencing prior to my 40s and 30s. I'd been having like chronic sinus issues and all these things for years and years, but all that heightened, and then other things started being added to it. So I was like, what is going on here? I'm eating right, I'm exercising, doing all the things. What was going on? My gut was jacked up. And I didn't realize I was just mentally and physically drained. And I am at the same time, financially, I was definitely having struggles, and things just weren't well. And I felt like, hey, I went to school, I did all the things. Like, why isn't this working? I opened my own business and they said, this is what you do, XYZ, you check the boxes. But none of that was really adding up to me. So I had been going to specialists to back up, trying to just figure this thing out. And I couldn't afford to be sick. I couldn't afford the copays. I couldn't afford to be off work because we were not making a profit. I was in tons and tons of debt, probably to the tune of about $500,000, living off credit cards, no savings, working all the time. And to add on a health struggle, it was not a pretty situation. And my friends and family knew it. Like, that type of thing will weigh on your life and your family's life and your children. You don't think it shows up, but it absolutely does. So I just felt more tied down and burdened than ever. And I just didn't really see a way out of it. But thank God for my belief. Thank God for my church. And I just knew that there was more for me. I just knew there was more, that we were not supposed to be sick and just have to sacrifice your relationships and your family life for wealth or vice versa. Like you could have it all. There were times where I really believe I was like, this is a joke. Like nobody can have it all. Like why am I even trying to do that? But I believe more, and thank God I did. But I didn't know the avenue. I didn't know the vehicle, but I just knew that it was possible. So at the same time of trying to pursue my health goals, I was trying to also pursue like more financial stability for my family. But like I said, I didn't know what vehicle, and but just know that if you're given like insight into something, like I knew there was more there in the spirit, or in the nudging, like you'll also get like a person to talk to or like someone to do in the natural. So that was Rhea. Thank God, thank God. And late in the summer of 2019, God has a way of like slipping in a blessing when you least expect it or in a package, right? Because sometimes, like honestly, I would get in my own way, still do. But Rhea, I trusted her. She knew I told her about my health struggles and just having a lot of anxiety and just being tired all the time and having headaches. I thought I wanted a CBD oil, and she was like, well, we have this Plexus and I can get you a CBD oil. And I was like, okay. But even when that box came, I was like, oh, what is this? I don't know. Okay, let me do the research, but because I knew I just didn't want to feel worse, but I was like, girl, just stop. Really. Take the stuff. This is what you've been asking for. I knew about gut health and I heard some things, but I did not trust Rhea. So there it was. Immediately, I felt more mental clarity. I felt just the energy about myself. And it was like just a nice energy. It wasn't like crash and burn, that Red Bull type of stuff. I didn't have headaches. Any more daily headaches. I was waking up with headaches, guys. And over the months, it wasn't like immediately, but even the stress and that worry feeling and that heavy burden, that even started to go away. And then, and my financial situation was not changing at that point. So I was like, okay. So the belief in those products and everything that was happening to me was starting to build the belief that my financial situation could change. And I have never really shared this on a Zoom. So I'm please bear with me because I'm being fully transparent because I know someone else is going through this, and it's not just me, and it's not just the debt, but life in general will take you places. So you have to be able to shift, and I mean shift big. But thank God that Plexus came in and helped me with that. It helped me with my health. I could see better, I could think better. And when I saw those changes, I was like, okay, I could do something different. I was still thinking in a traditional approach, though. I was not thinking Plexus. I was not thinking network marketing or anything like that. I was thinking maybe I'll go back to school. Maybe I'll switch careers. All these things that would totally like change my family dynamic. Like this was going to be a big change. I didn't want to really upset that. So I was still kind of like, well, I don't know. Rhea would send me things and I knew there was some earning potential, but it didn't seem like I could do that or that was for me. But that cloud, it just was such a heavy like lift for me because I knew I needed like hundreds and thousands, excuse me, and they were talking hundreds. So that's such like a mind trick that your brain will pay on you too. That's you to believe like, oh, it couldn't be that. That's too easy. Like I went to school all those years, and how is this gonna just all go away with a couple of bottles of pills? Don't believe that. Like absolutely do not. Like listen to me. So I made sure the company was on the up and up because that's what was really important for me, that to know that this company was stable, it had integrity, the products worked, they were scientifically backed, they were clean, all of that stuff. It checked all the boxes for me, and it was no reason that I didn't have to share except me. I just needed to get out of my own way. I had hangups about what people would think of me, or hangups about, my degree and what would that mean and this and that. But when I started to actually tell more and more people openly about it, they told people. And people with the struggles and the health problems started dropping away, like diabetes, autoimmune issues, blood sugars being balanced. Like people were being like totally unleashed. And that was just incredible, amazing to me, actually. The business just took off from there. Interestingly enough, we were in a pandemic. before Plexus, I would have been like curled up in the ball. I can't even like cope with this situation because it was just too much. I still had to pay all those bills. Like we shut down. Like, that didn't mean anything to my landlord. Like, um, but I had Plexus. I was thinking clear, like mentally, physically, emotionally. I was just better. The money started to come in after we started, or the business started to grow. But I just got on that train. I didn't want to miss out. We were in such great community with people. There was such, everyone's isolated, but we had like hope and we had joy and we just had this amazing team. So light bulb moment, you got to diversify. Like when the world might shut you down or one thing is gonna cut off, like this came in and totally shifted everything, not just the pandemic, like it just has shifted everything for me and my family. So fast forward a little bit because I'm trying to stay mindful of time. I went from in 4 months, literally making from like hundreds of dollars a month with Plexus, which was cool. It was a nice little, side gig, pocket money, to making thousands a month to tens of thousands a month. So that was like, whoa, what happened? I had no idea that that was going to come through this avenue called Plexus. Like it has surpassed the business earnings of the practice. We're paying off debt. We're able to take trips, and we need that. We need that time together. That's what I miss. I felt like I missed like all my son's childhood because I started the practice when I was 2, and we didn't travel after that point. So I was able to do all of this in just a way that was natural for me. It was what I wanted to do as a healthcare professional on a day-to-day basis. I didn't need to get another degree. I didn't need to incur any more debt. It was just showing people that it's possible, loving on people, showing them how they can improve their health, showing them that then they can be empowered and take control. Like I felt so out of control with my health and my finances. Like I was not in the driver's seat. Plexus came in and just sort of like lined all that up for me. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. I can't stop telling the world, like, so serious. So when you're blessed, you're a blessing. So we're giving more. We're not just, that's my whole goal. Like, I don't want to do this just for me. I want to create ripple effects of change for the whole, world essentially. But even in my community and my family life, like I was scared. Felt like I was like one illness away from like slipping off like a financial cliff because we were just very like, Rhea knows, I think you told me, because Rhea just kept telling me you should do it. And I'm like, yeah, because she knew like it was trouble. So that has definitely improved. I'm thinking, and I know you may be thinking like, yeah, girl, like for real. I don't know about that. But I just have to tell you, it's possible. It's not that I have a degree. It's not that I'm just like I'm a physician or anything like that. It's just that I decided to take a chance and I decided to tell someone. And those people told someone. So I had to get out of my own way. I had to let go of the ego about what people may think of me. And I do the scary, it's still not super easy. It's still a scary thing, but I do it because I'm passionate. I'm passionate about people and making a difference in the lives of others. So I pray everyone take this opportunity, listen to the person who invited you, listen to the people on this call, because it absolutely can be a huge shift for you. And if it's not for the business, that's fine. I mean, I was not listening to the business thing either. So just focus on getting healthier. It will pay off, and it will pay off big for you. So be blessed, everyone. And I will pass it back to you, Rhea.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Dr. Williams. I just love you, girl. I love your story. I never get tired of hearing it, ever. And I apologize, Adrian, because I forgot to add your other pictures. So y'all, I actually have another tab, and I am going to grab Adrian's picture right here because Dr. Williams forgot to mention that she is also rocking a Plexus Lexus, and that is winning in 2021. So I just want to share that picture real quick. My apologies, Adrian, for not, you know how I do with technology, girl. For not putting that in your other picture, but
Quite all right.
back to this one. But I just, y'all, I can't, I never get tired of hearing these testimonies. And I remember when I was talking to Adrian about, the health side of it, and I kept telling her, girl, like, we have to, you have to do this launch, you have to do a launch, and at the time we could do it in person. Right now it's like launch Zoom, launch Zoom. I was like, you have got to do this launch. And she did it at her practice, and it took over from there. But it's important, y'all, to listen to not only the health wins, but also the financial wins too. Yes, Adrian is a dentist. She's had a lot of schooling, and don't think that just because someone has doctor in front of their name, they don't need this. And to be honest, most of the time, those are people that are more in debt because they had to go to a lot of school. Okay, they had to go to a lot of school. So I'm telling all my friends, and I'm so thankful that Adrian is experiencing these health and financial wins. So I am going to pass it on to our next sharer, our testimony, Miss Summer Godfrey. I just love and adore her. I am going to mute myself and let you take over, Mama.
Hello, hello. I am so excited to share. I love you too, Rhea. So excited. I love that green on you too. So pretty. But I am Summer Godfrey, a very, very blessed Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I'm just so excited to share tonight. I began Plexus not because I came looking for a business either. I was totally closed. I was so close that I would see my wonderful friend Robin sharing Plexus on social media, on Facebook. And I was like, I don't know what she's doing. I'm not sure what that is, but it's not for me, And I was sicker than anybody. I needed it so bad, but I just didn't know what it was. And so I'd been seeing her sharing, but I just wasn't convinced that it was for me. So I would kind of avoid her posts like the plague. It's so sad. But it's funny how, we just, I don't know, like when we don't know, we just don't know what we don't know. And that's really where I was. So I have been sick since 9 years old, you guys. I've been chronically in pain and disabled from scoliosis. I was diagnosed at 9. Can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Sound like someone was
Yes,
saying something to me.
if
Okay.
everyone else
So I
can
was
make you
diagnosed.
muted, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you. So I was diagnosed at 9 years old. I, at 17, had surgery, corrective surgery, so that I could repair the curve. And so I have rods, it's called Harrington rods, in my spine or along my spine. And I came out of that surgery a paraplegic. So I had to be turned in the bed. I could not move, like it was pretty bad. And I did not realize it was going to be that severe of a surgery, that major. But, I recuperated, and still the pain was there. So I'm just, struggling and saying, okay, what is going on? I ended up getting married. My husband and I are pastors, and we're called into the ministry at a young age. So we thought we were going off to college, and God was like, nope, you're getting married and you're going to Bible school. So we did that. And I thought, okay, I'm starting my life and I've had my surgery, and I'm thinking, I know, that everything's good from here. And that just wasn't the case. I was in chronic pain ever since. It just continued to progress and get worse and worse. So at 28 years old, I finally, my mother had to talk me into it, like, Summer, look, this is not normal. You need to go to the doctor. Went to the doctor, and they put me on heavy pain meds that cancer patients take. But she sat me down and she said, Summer, I'm just concerned about you. This is serious. These medications cancer patients take. And she said, you're 28 years old right now. I'm going to have to continue to increase your dosage because your body gets accustomed to it where it is. And she said, at 45, you are going to be capped out. She said, there's not anything else I'm going to be able to take you up to. So she said, on top of that, your system is going to be so backed up. She said, I don't mean just a little like constipated. She said, I mean, potentially fatally backed up. And then she just looked at me with this blank stare and said, what are we going to do? And it just totally caught me off guard, y'all. Like, if you're 28 years old, just starting out life, and you just have we have 4 children, and they're babies, they're young. And I'm like, what? So you're basically kind of giving me a death sentence at 45? To put that in perspective, I'm 43 years old right now. So I'm just 2 years away from that, horrible reality, or being possibly a reality for me. So I, went on, and that helped me to understand that I have to be my own health advocate. I started going to specialists. You're taught to get a second opinion, third, fourth opinion. I did all of that. I was traveling to the best of the best, and literally they didn't have any answers for me. So at that point, I knew, oh man, I've got to get really serious about this thing. Of course, we've been praying and believing God and standing on his word. But then at the same time, I was trying to do everything that I could do as well. So we're looking at, natural alternatives. My husband was researching, and he's telling me, he's like, Summer, gut health. You need to get inflammation out of your body. You need to get the toxins and the candida out of your body. And I just didn't know how to do it. You would have to eat fermented foods to get candida yeast out of your gut, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't eat sauerkraut and drink kombucha all day long. So I felt like I was at a loss. And at this point, my husband is seeing one of Robin's posts, and he said, baby, this is everything that I've been talking about. We've got to try this. We've got to give Plexus a shot. I was like, no, thank you. Not interested. And he said, Summer, I'm telling you, I'm sensing the Lord on this. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm listening. And he said, we just need to give it a try. So we both started together. And I'm telling you guys, in 3 days of me taking Plexus, I had my life back. I had been bedbound. I was deemed disabled at 17 years old. So I had been bedbound all this time, just struggling and in pain, and just, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And so in 3 days, my life changed. And what I found out as I couldn't help but share it with others. As I was sharing, I found out that I wasn't the only one, because I was silently suffering. Nobody knew. I kept the same. I'm always smiling. I can't not smile, right? That's just who I am. And so nobody knew the pain that I was in. I dealt with that. I bore that on a daily basis. And it just made me realize that so many other people are suffering. It is not just me. So if you're on this call and, someone's invited you and you don't really understand why, I get it. I totally get it. Like, I didn't understand, but it totally transformed my life, and it's transforming the lives of everybody that trusts me on this journey and that sticks with it. It's not going to change everything overnight. You've got to be consistent, but I am telling you, my health is just improved. It's just gotten better and better and better. And so I am 6 years in, y'all, 6 years in on this journey. And to have your life back, it's like my life went from black and white to color. It is like, at 38 years old, y'all, I was 38 when I started Plexus. Literally, I was suffering all of that time. My whole life pretty much was just suffering and pain. And so I'd had many wins. My pain was gone that third day. I lost 25 pounds and 30 inches by the third and fourth month of Plexus. I was outdone. I was like, how did I lose weight? Because I was not working out. It was literally just Plexus. My mind, coming from a disabled place, I wasn't even thinking working out at that point of working out. So off of all of my medications, you guys, because one med leads to another, to another, to another, to another. Before I knew it, I was taking a good 10 different medications. I don't take any more of those medications. I don't go to any specialist anymore. Only my well visits, that is it. And I never get sick. My immune system is built up. I never get sick. It is so awesome. The eczema on my hands is gone. If you see the picture, it's kind of hard to see. But if you would like to see it closer, just reach out to your sponsor or who invited you to the call. But my skin was just ravished. And down there, like if you look at the middle picture and the picture to the right, my skin was restored, you guys, in 3 weeks. My skin had grown back in and it looked like nothing had happened. I just started screaming through the house. And then I realized, oh my gosh, it's Plexus, because that's the only thing I've done. I took the strongest medication, the strongest ointment, and it would not do a thing. And the doctor told me that I couldn't go past 2 weeks on that ointment or it was cancer causing. So here we go again, another doctor telling me, hey, you can't do this long term. And so many of them will not tell you. So I'm just so thankful to have had doctors that would. I also had a rare genetic blood disease. I was diagnosed with at 36 years old. I would just start fainting and, I would faint at different times, random times. And they finally sent me to a hematologist and figured out that I had this rare genetic blood disease. Had never heard of it, didn't know it was in my family. And it would cause my iron levels and my hemoglobin levels to not be sufficient. And so my blood cells would be underdeveloped. They wouldn't be bright red like they should be. They would be this, like faint in color. And, I was having iron infusions and my hematologist was like, I don't know what to do with you. I'm putting all the iron in your body and then it leaves. And so guys, after, let's see, I got started on the X Factor multivitamin. I added that to my triplex combo and went back for testing. And I didn't tell her a thing. And she goes, Summer, what are you doing? And I was like, Plexus. She said, Plexus? I said, yeah. She was like, I couldn't even figure out what to do with you. I didn't know what was happening. And this has changed everything. She said, your blood work looks like a completely different person's blood work. You're no longer anemic. Your iron level looks wonderful. And your hemoglobin level is just where it needs to be and regular. She was like, this is amazing. You keep doing what you're doing. And so I have not been back to her since. And I used to have iron infusions every other month. So that's my picture there of me losing the 25 pounds in 4 months. It has been mind blowing. Now, as amazing as the health testimony is and how much it's changed my life, the business, the financial aspect of this has changed my life in unimaginable ways as well. So I am just grateful. I am so thankful that I said yes. Literally in 2020, I've been working my business hard. Like I could not help but share that my passion comes from wanting to see everybody win in their health. I don't want anyone to ever experience what I experienced. So I was always passionate, always sharing on Facebook, always, doing calls and events and trying to get the word out there. Like Ray was saying, we had to do physical events back in the day. And so Zoom came out and it was like, oh, wow. So 2020, everybody is like trying to figure out what in the world has happened. What kind of apocalypse is this? And when are we going to wake up from this nightmare? But I knew that, and really it was the Lord. He was like, Summer, this is a Joseph season. And those are the words that he gave me. This is a Joseph season. And so I was like, okay, and I went to work in 2020, January, February, March, I was just like hitting it hard, my team and I. And so it was just like, we have the answer. Our whole country, the whole world is going through this crisis. And the actual root cause of this crisis is gut health, right? 90% of the immune system is built in the gut. And we have the answer to increasing the immune system. And so I was like, man, I have this sense of urgency even more than ever to get the word out there. And, if you think about it, even our community was hit even harder than the other communities. And so I'd always felt like this was a mandate, but, from God, like I have to do this. However, it became even more real for me. And so I'm so thankful that I put my head down during that transition or that season, because in this season that we're still in it. But I'm so glad that I put my head down and just focused. Because in 2021 is when I hit Emerald and my team, my amazing team that I absolutely adore. We hit Emerald as a team, and that means a 6-figure income. That means that I'm going to pick out my Lexus really soon. So I'm so excited about it. I'm going to be like Dr. Adrian over there. And so I'm just so excited. And then the other thing is a free trip to Hawaii every single year for you and your spouse, like 7 days of just being pampered. So I just can't even put into words what this feels like. It feels like I don't play the lottery, but it feels like I hit the jackpot, like I won the lottery or something, because, I never feel like I'm working. I always just feel like I'm just trying to save a life. I'm trying to help somebody, and that's me. Like, I have a yellow personality. I love helping people. And if you love helping people, then this is just that's all we do. That is it. And one of the things, we share always, women, we usually pass along a good deal. We usually pass along, oh, this good restaurant. And let me tell you this, half of the time we haven't even tried the restaurant that we're telling people about. We'll be like, oh yeah, I heard it was good. And we will tell people, and then that business is over there, getting paid, and they're making profits because we referred someone to them. But we come into something like this and think, let me wait and see, and let me get my results before I tell anybody. I don't know. And we're thinking about weight loss results usually when we say that, right? Well, this is way more, as you hear on this call tonight, this is way more than weight loss. And everyone's body is so different. You need to spread the word. If you've heard something is changing lives like this, what do you sit and wait for? You want to pass it along to your family and your friends, and you guys can be getting healthy together. So that's what this thing is about, is just passing the word along and blessing others. We are blessed to be a blessing. That's our company's motto. And I can truly say that I've been nothing but blessed. And this is the blessing that I did not know to pray for. And that's another big thing, is that, just like Dr. Adrian was saying as well, like, who knows, like you think you've got to go back to school, or you've got to, you're trying to figure out what to do. One win that I had as well during the crisis, the pandemic that we've been going through, is that my husband is in the mortgage industry. And during that time, like, everything halted. And, he's always, done really well. And he's provided for us well. However, at this point, I don't know where I would be without Plexus, because my Plexus income carried us through that season. And so I'm just so grateful, you guys, that I said yes. And I hope you'll do the same thing. Get with the person that invited you and just say yes. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand everything. Sometimes you just have to trust. You have to trust the friend that invited you, and you have to trust the process, because we're here to help you to do the same thing. So that's it, Rhea.
Oh, thank you, Summer. Thank you.
You're
Again,
welcome.
never get tired of hearing these testimonies, hearing these stories, coming straight from the heart. And every time I hear your story, I learn something new. And like I do with most people's, testimonies that we're sharing. So thank you, Summer. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So I'm speaking of sharing, I'm going to continue sharing my screen, y'all, because I want to talk about some things, just getting into really quickly. I don't want to keep y'all too long. How is everyone experiencing this, right? Like, so if you're here and you're like, okay, what is this gut health that they're talking about? How is everyone experiencing all of these wins? And so just a really quick breakdown of what gut health is. And when we speak about leaky gut, what is happening is that, our GI tract is supposed to be a steel trap. It's supposed to be a brick wall. And if you look at this picture right here, y'all, think of this as our GI tract right here. It is our barrier to our insides, basically, just like our skin is our barrier from the outside elements. Our GI tract is our barrier. And so it's supposed to be like a brick wall. That's our healthy GI tract right here. And so what happens is that it turns into a picket fence for several reasons, a lot of different reasons, some of them being overuse of medications like antibiotics, steroids, birth control, alcohol, processed foods, sugary foods. That's a big one right there. Pollution, stress, all of these things turns that brick wall into a picket fence. And so you have this leaky gut, and that's exactly what's happening. Your gut is leaking. And so you have like food particles and pathogens and toxins are leaking into your bloodstream. And y'all, that results in so many other things. That results in autoimmune issues, a lot of what we call mystery symptoms. You know how you'll be like, oh, I just don't feel like myself. I just don't feel like myself. And you can't figure it out. And you think, oh, I guess it's just, going into my 40s, the older I get. But no, it's just, the more you start doing these things to your body, your gut is leaking more and more. It really doesn't have anything to do with your age, so to speak, y'all. It's just that you've been jacking up your gut longer and it just can't take it anymore. And so, these different mystery symptoms, like I was talking about, like headaches and sinus issues and allergy issues and IBS, autoimmune issues, all of this leaky gut results in those things. And so when you start to repair your gut, because the good news is that your gut can be repaired. And the even better news is that Plexus will repair your gut. And so when you start to repair your gut, that's when you start to feel better and you don't have all of this crappy, cruddy stuff, y'all, in your bloodstream and in your system, and your GI tract is able to do what it's supposed to do, really protect yourself. And so I don't want to spend too much time. I was going to share other things that our gut health is connected to, but there's a gut brain connection. 90% of your serotonin is in your gut, y'all. So just keep that in mind when you're kind of feeling like, I'm feeling blah, I'm not feeling myself. And then you start to take Plexus and you're like, oh, I'm happier. That's why it's the health and happiness company, because it's true, y'all. It is literally true. 90% of your serotonin, that hormone that gives you that happy feeling, is in your gut. So when your gut is healthy, you mentally feel better. Also, you physically feel better. 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Super important right now, y'all. It's always important, but especially now, you want to make sure you're strengthening your immune system. Now, I'll also just quickly want to, I'm not going to spend too much time on my own testimony, but I just want to, I wanted to bring up my daughter. Earlier I mentioned my daughter, and, telling y'all she is one of the biggest reasons why I share Plexus. And so my daughter was born at 23 weeks. They gave her 48 hours to live, y'all. Praise God. This child is 13. She'll be 14 in October. And we have been through a lot. And I say we, because yes, I've been through it with her, right? We're like, it's a family thing, right? But she is a soldier. She has been through the most. And so this is a picture on the left here, y'all. This is at Texas Children's. One of the reasons we moved to Texas was for Texas Children's Hospital. We up and left Miami and moved to Texas. We had 0 jobs in Texas, y'all. We moved on faith. And my husband's family's from Oklahoma. I'm from Louisiana. We said, let's go right smack dab in the middle. We heard about Texas Children's Complex Care Clinic and their cerebral palsy clinic. We wanted to get our daughter into that. And we moved to Houston. We just moved to Houston. Everyone was like, what are y'all doing? And thankfully, we did. They helped her a lot. But what really made the changes, y'all, was Plexus. This picture on the right, this is Claire. This is about 6 months after being on Plexus, y'all. And that picture says everything. I mean, everything. You could just look at her and she's, the way she's registering, things are registering. She's a healthy weight. She's not suffering with her asthma, migraines. She's not suffering with her eczema, her gastroparesis. That's like a temporary paralysis of your digestive system. All of her food would come up. She wouldn't take in nutrients. It's just, it was really bad, y'all. She's had some of her intestines removed. She's been hospitalized for constipation. Now she goes regularly. I have her on Plexus. And these were the big changes started for us. And my entire family's on Plexus, not just my immediate family, my extended family. Like if you are related to me, if you're on my family tree, you are on Plexus, because I'm like, I want all of us to be healthy. I want this family tree to keep growing, right? So that's Claire's story. That's her testimony. And this is me with my, my Plexus Lexus. We are winning financially also. So my husband and I made a decision very early on that I was going to be home with the girls, and I wanted to be, especially at the time when we just had Claire. One of us needed to be present. One of us, like I mentioned, I left my career to be her caregiver. And so one of us, we just never knew what her health was going to be. And so, that is a strain, having that one income, especially we had 2 more daughters. So we have 3 daughters. And it becomes a strain, especially with healthcare bills. And I remember my husband saying to me, babe, if you could just, with your fitness instruction, if you could just bring in about 500 to 1,000 a month, that would help out so much. And I was trying, y'all. I was wearing myself out teaching some classes, right? But I mean, you can't teach 8 classes a day, right? So I couldn't work full time, but I was like, and with my kiddos too, trying to work during the day, teach classes during the day with my kids is not all, you don't always get a lot of classes, right? So anywho, I reached out to Robin because I'd been on Plexus, but I hadn't started sharing Plexus. So I remember I reached out to my friend Robin from undergrad, and I told her that, y'all. And not only am I making, 1,000 a month, but I'm making 10 to 15 times that a month. And that's life changing. It's, like Dr. Williams said, tens of thousands of dollars a month. And we paid off, you see right here, we paid off $20,000 in healthcare bills. We've been able to save a lot because we really went through our savings when we moved here. And with my daughter's healthcare, her disability insurance took a while to go through, and well, not took a while, still hasn't gone through. I'm still fighting Texas Department of Health, and that's a whole nother story. But and so we racked up all of these healthcare bills. She's had 8 major surgeries because we were fighting to get her disability healthcare coverage covered in Texas. So anywho, it's brought financial freedom, y'all, that I just cannot explain. I cannot explain it. And I started for health. I started sharing it because of what it was doing with our health and for our health. And I am just blessed beyond belief. And everyone who's listening to this, please do not block your blessings. I beg of you, do not block your blessings. I mean, this is just wonderful. This company is wonderful. It's known for its compensation plan. It's known for its quality of its products. It's known for getting you healthy and happy. And so I also wanted to share this right here, y'all. 60% of people worldwide are in debt. And I actually think that's low. I actually think that's low because, like, I know all my friends are still paying. We're still paying our what do you call it, school loans, right? But anywho, and if you have a home, you're in debt, right? So anywho, 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck. And listen, y'all, that used to be us. We are not extravagant people. We both have our master's degrees. My husband is a chief financial officer. We did not, buy stuff and go places and travel. We just focused on the important things, and we were still living check to check, paycheck to paycheck. And so Plexus has changed that for us. And I'm just so grateful. And I want y'all to experience that too. 78% of people are concerned they don't have enough to save for retirement. And 61% of people want to be their own boss. That is the best right there. That is the best. Being able to be my own boss from my home, making 6 figures, driving a Plexus Lexus, going on trips, having, the gifts that they give you to thank you for everything that you're doing and to encourage you to keep doing it. And I'm doing this all from my home. I can't even get over that. I have to pinch myself a lot of times. So I just want you to ask yourself, what if this could change everything? You need to be winning also. Health wins, financial wins. These are just some of the people on our team, y'all. And I love this picture. I mean, we are just living our best lives. Listen, boo, we are drinking our pink drink and living our best lives. And we want you to do it with us. Come on, man. Like, the more the merrier. Why? What are you waiting on? Like Summer said, let's do this. Okay. So how do you get started? I'm so glad you asked. All right. So you're going to start with the welcome pack. The person who invited you to tonight's call, reach out to them. They'll reach out to you. Make sure you put in the chat, like, your name and who invited you, and they'll reach out to you. But listen, if they don't reach out to you tonight, reach out to them. Be like, hello, I want to get my welcome pack, and I want to get these sales y'all have going on. Okay. What are those sales? Our welcome packs right now, y'all, are they're $10 off. And then the person who invited you has a promo code they can use to give you another 10% off. So, but that sale is ending on Monday. So don't sleep on it. Okay. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Make sure you reach out to them and say you're ready. Let them know, what you want to get started with. There are a lot of different products, y'all. I just want to mention the triplex. I know that we are reaching 50 minutes and I didn't want to keep y'all too long. I do want to mention 3 important products. I won't get into all the products, but that's the triplex. And so the slim, which is the pink drink, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. And then I'll come back to this just so you can see the products that I want to show you. But the slim, we call it the pink drink. There are 2 types of slims. There's the microbiome activating slim. I started that because I was GI issues, y'all. I used to see a gastroenterologist like every couple of months, been seeing one since my 20s, been taking probiotics since my 20s. None of them helped, like the Probio 5, which I'm about to get into. But I started with the microbiome activating slim. There's also a hunger control slim. If your goal is weight loss, start with the hunger control slim, get the meta burn, get the balance, get those lean shakes. Again, talk to the person who invited you tonight. They'll get you started on the perfect welcome pack for you. That is the slim, okay? And good news, whatever welcome pack you choose, you can choose which slim you want. Now, the Probio 5, remember I'm talking about the triplex. There's 3 products in that. The Probio 5 is the second product in the triplex. Y'all, look here. This is my favorite, okay? Get the Probio 5. You can thank me now. You're gonna love it. I can't say enough about this. You have to go to the store and get like 3 or 4 probiotics to get what you're gonna get in the Probio 5. Here's why. It has a digestive enzyme. It has an antifungal. Remember that pool? Remember that pool at the beginning of the call that nobody wanted to get in? You need an antifungal. That's a big, big part of repairing your gut, that antifungal. Probio 5 has an antifungal. Also, it's in a freeze-dried capsule. What does that mean? Y'all, these strains, these billions and billions of colony-forming units, the CFUs, they're going to get into your digestive system. Guess what? A lot of times probiotics have to be refrigerated. You know why? Because those strains die when you hit heat. Guess what, boo-boo? Your tongue is heat. So when you take that probiotic, it dies as soon as it hits your tongue, but not Probio 5 because it's in a freeze-dried. I sing when I get excited. I can't sing, but I still do it when I get excited. It's in that freeze-dried capsule. So it's going to hit your tongue. It's going to get in your digestive system, and all those strains are going to be there. And that's why Probio 5 is the first probiotic that made me feel different. I can actually be like, I can tell that I'm taking it, right? That I'm taking my Probio 5. The third part of the triplex is the BioCleanse. So think about the Probio 5 as you scrubbing your toilet, and the BioCleanse is you flushing your toilet. It's getting all that bad stuff out. It just helps you be regular, child. It helps you do exactly what you're supposed to do. And naturally. So when you hear the word cleanse, please don't think like laxative, you're gonna be running to the bathroom, none of that. It's just helping your body do what it's supposed to do. You're gonna be able to eliminate BM, poop, whatever you want to call it. I have a 4-year-old, so he's, poop, TMI, I know. But whatever you want to call it, it's gonna help you do it regularly and how often you're supposed to, and the right stuff. Like you're gonna get the bad stuff out of your system and keep the good stuff in. BioCleanse also has magnesium in it. That's something to Google magnesium deficiency. That's huge. It oxygenates your cells. I can't say enough about it. But those 3 products make up the triplex. But y'all, there's so many more products. Again, I won't get into for interest of time, but we have the multivitamin, we have the anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is the root cause of all chronic diseases, inflammation. So that the Slim is an anti-inflammatory. It is a prebiotic. Think of it as a fertilizer. It's also going to balance your blood sugars. So when your blood sugars are balanced, you're not going to have those dips and spikes in your blood sugars, right? And so you're not going to have these crashes during the day. You're also not going to crave these crappy foods. You're literally going to want different things. So back to inflammation. It is the root cause of all chronic diseases. So you want to tackle that inflammation, and Plexus is going to help you do that. There's an E supplement for that. It's also for chronic pain and chronic inflammation. There's the Mega X, which is a mega vitamin. I know I said I wouldn't get into all of them, but I love them so much, y'all. There's also the Joyum skincare line that is helping me age backwards. Thank you, Adrian, showing that Mega X. I know, girl, I have my products here. Adrian showing thank you, Lala. Thank you, Dr. Williams, showing the Joyum line. We also have a kids line. I'm a mom of 3. My kiddos love the kids line. It's a chewable. Thank you, Summer. Yep, the chewable. It's the multivitamin probiotic in 1. There's a kids vitamin drink, the Mega Kids microbiome. There's so many products, y'all. So reach out to the person who invited you to this call. Tell them your top 3 health goals, because we want to make sure you get the products that you need and you don't get any products that you don't need, even though I think you need all of them because I have all of them in my pantry and I love and adore them. But reach out to them and they're going to help you get started on the right welcome pack. So I'm going to go back to that screen just because I want to let y'all know that the deal, right? The deals that we have right now. So you're going to get the welcome packs for $109 or $209. There's a smaller welcome pack that has 3 products, and the $209 welcome packs. But remember, they're $10 off and then another 10% off of that. Okay. So jump on that. So you're not paying full price, y'all, for all of this goodness. And then you're actually going to have access to the wholesale price for the next 12 months. So we want to get you started. That's how you get started on the welcome pack. And then guess what? Everyone who purchases a welcome pack with Plexus, I love how they do this. Every single person who purchases a welcome pack. No, you don't. We talk about the business and the financial wins. If you don't want to do that, that is a-okay, y'all. But what you can do is you can actually refer people and you can, say, hey, get started with me and you'll get cash back. You'll literally get cash back. Even if you don't want to be a quote unquote, do this business side of Plexus, you still can let your friends know about it. And I love that Plexus has that referral program and you literally can make cash back on just getting your friends started on it too. Ask the person who introduced you, who invited you to this call, how to do that. So I'm going to stop sharing. We have a couple minutes, y'all. I try to not go over 40 minutes. That's been here and left. Okay, so we're at 54 minutes now. So let's just give a couple minutes for questions. I don't want to end it. If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and mute yourself. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions. And of course, you can always reach out to the person who invited you to tonight's call. We are here to help. We are open books. Just go ahead and interrupt me, please, if you have a question. because I will keep talking if you know me. I'm one of those people who does not like silence. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. All right. Okay. Well, that's good. That means we covered a lot. I love it. We covered a lot. So y'all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, I know this is a busy time. For us, it was the last day of school. And I just thank y'all for thinking enough of this and enough of yourself to hop onto this call and do this for yourself. Do this for yourself. If you're like me, we do everything for everyone else. And it just feels so good to do something for ourselves. So let's do that, okay? Get started. Do not sleep on it, okay? Do not block your blessings. Everyone, thank you for joining and have a wonderful night. Bye, y'all. Have a great Thursday.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
Rhea.
night, everybody. This was a
Wonderful
great
call.
call.
Thank you so much.
much.
Wonderful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good night.